What's up guys, this is Speciously on Steadfast Courage. I've been very busy lately. I have been uploading videos, but this is the first video uploaded in a while. And I've been working on something. I've been working on my very first on-the-line store for Steadfast Courage. And my very first t-shirt for Steadfast Courage. As you can see here, it's a very nice t-shirt. I have to say so myself. I like it a lot. I've been working on that, and I've been working on the on-the-line store for Steadfast Courage. It's going along slow but steady. I'm not so up to speed with building online stuff. I'm trying, alright? Really trying my best to make it happen. The image that I picked for my very first t-shirt is of an Indian war chief of the Navajo Nation, which, if you don't know, I'm Navajo, which means, really doesn't mean much, but I'm just letting you guys know. The reason why I picked Barboncito is because I want to pay homage to what he did for my ancestors, the Navajo people. He was a great man, and he deserves to be remembered. And that's why I wanted him to be displayed on my first t-shirt. I'm going to go over a little brief history of Barboncito in this video, which is pretty interesting. Excuse me for my mispronunciation of Navajo. I'm not really up to speed with Navajo language. As you can see, I'm in the city. And in the city, you don't learn Navajo very much. You don't use it very often. So here, let's go. Let's get on with it. Barboncito was born in 1820 and passed in 1871. Was a Native American chief who led the Navajo resistance of the mid-1860s. A staunch but peaceful opponent of white encroachment on the Indian homeland. Barboncito was beloved among his people for his eloquence, his leadership skills, and his inspirational role on his religious singing. He's remembered for the 1868 treaty that ensured the Navajo people their lands that they still live on today. Barboncito was born in 1820 to the clan Mutnishkijni. Sorry if I butchered that. Which means Coyote Pass. The clan at Canyon de Chelly in present-day northern Arizona. The mountains of the area produced a major stronghold for the Navajos, ensuring them formidable defense positions. Barboncito quickly rose to become one of the council chiefs for the Navajo people. When the United States occupied Santa Fe in the Mexican territory, around the time of the Mexican Wars, the Navajos signed the first treaty for the white settlers. Barboncito was one of the chiefs to sign the Donathan Treaty of 1868, agreeing to peaceful relations and beneficial trade with the whites. Despite the treaty, fighting continued between Navajos and whites because Donathan failed to obtain all signatures of the Navajo chiefs. Furthermore, the United States Army did not oppose sufficient military strength to quorum skirmishes between Navajos and nearby Spanish Mexicans, who sought to enslave the Indians. Although leaders on both sides tried to put an end to the traditional warfare, their efforts proved to have no avail. Attacks and negotiations by U.S. troops sent mixed signals to Navajos, who believed that Anglo-American settlers were unlawfully seizing Native American lands. Barboncito led the resistance movements at Canyon de Chelly against Carson and the whites with the aid of Delgado and Manuelito, other Navajo chiefs. Again, Carson launched a scorched earth campaign against Navajos and Denet'a, which means Navajo land. Carson destroyed fields, orchards, hogans, and earth-covered Navajo dwellings. And he confiscated cattle from the Continental Divide to Colorado River. Though only 78 of 12,000 Navajo people were killed, Carson's effort crushed the Navajo spirit. By 1864, he had devastated Canyon de Chelly, hacking down thousands of peach trees, obliterating acres of cornfields. Eventually, a shortage of food and supplies forced the Navajos to surrender their sacred strongholds. As you can see, Kit Carson did not perform a genocide. He only killed 78 out of 12,000 Navajos. So you can tell those people Kit Carson wasn't as bad as they say he was. By 1868, Barboncito, Manuelito, and a delegation of chiefs traveled to Washington, D.C. after General Carleton had been transferred from Fort Sumner to Bosque Redondo and could no longer inflict his policy on Navajos. Barboncito was granted more status by the whites, more authority than would have been accorded him by tribal customs. He played a leading role in negotiations with General William T. Sherman and Colonel Samuel F. Tappan, telling them that the creator of the Navajo people had warned the tribe never to go east of the Rio Grande River. He explained the failure of Bosque Redondo. Even though they dug irrigation trenches, the crops failed. Rattlesnakes did not warn the victims away before striking them as they did in Navajo country. People became ill and died. Barboncito told the white negotiator that Navajos wished to return home. However, the U.S. government was not inclined to return all their land to the Navajos. Sherman provided Barboncito and other chiefs with three choices: go east, Oklahoma, then known as Indian Territory, relocate it to New Mexico to be governed by laws of that territory, return to a diminished portion of their original lands. The Navajos chose the last option. On June 1st, 1868, the Navajo leaders, including Barboncito, signed a treaty with the U.S. government, as reprinted in Wolcombe Washburn, American Indian, and the United States. The agreement began: from this day forward, all war between the parties shall forever cease. Although he was last to surrender, Barboncito was the first one to sign a document with an X. He died in March 16, 1871 at Canyon de Chelly, Arizona, having established himself as a distinguished Indian chief. As you can see, that's the reason why I picked him for my first shirt. He's not well known because people forgot their history, but he's a very great man. He did a lot for my ancestors back in the day when times was scary. I wanted to pay homage for all he did for my ancestors, and I want everyone to know what he did. I want to remind others about what he did. That's why I wanted him as my first t-shirt design. I will post the link in the description of my store once it's up, so you guys can check it out. Check out the first t-shirt of Steadfast Courage, the first official t-shirt of Steadfast Courage. Check that out, and make sure you check out my other product that I created as the title card of Steadfast Courage. If you want to check that out too, you can check it out as well once it's up. But this whole internet thing is hard to do for me. I'll get it up as soon as possible. Stay tuned, there's plenty more t-shirts to come on Steadfast Courage, and I got a doozy coming up. Remember to like this video, subscribe to Steadfast Courage, and there's a lot more to come. Trust me, there's a lot more to come. Alright, remember, peace through fire superiority, Speciously out.